Well, here we are. I've made it. Made it to where, you might say? To Bologna, of course, the home of Ducati. And behind me, I'm sure you can see Mr. Fogarty, the man himself, Car Fogarty, adorning the factory. But we've come here to see just how they make a Ducati Monster and one or two other things. Now, the heart of any bike is the engine, is it not? See this cylinder head? This is off a 750 SS, air-cooled. But this is the cylinder head as it comes in from the foundry. As you can see, nice job, but it's completely bare. It hasn't yet been machined. And this noisy machine here is a thing that automatically does all the machining. You can see a head in there already set up. And after much whirling and milling and God knows what else, you end up with this, a work of art. It belongs in a technical museum. Cylinder head all milled out there, the valve pockets made. What else have they done? Cut the valve collars in there, so it's all prepared for the overhead cam to go through there. So a beautiful piece of work, all done in one single operation. Now, never let it be said that I'm not on the case, because these are cases, crankcases. Two halves. This one here, straight from the foundry, a beautiful bit of casting work, but it's not machined, because that's done over here, on this big machine. But it ends up, here we are, already done. The two halves of the crankcase, both machined on both sides, complete with all the bearings in there as well. Well, not the bearings, but the bearing housings. So that's already done, a completely finished job. And all that is done completely automatically on that great big machine over there. Now here's the two halves, assembled, ready to go to engine assembly. And in there, you can see that spigot all ready for the cylinder barrel to go on. One there, another one there, but that's all finished. And it really does look a beautiful piece of work. I have one of those on my coffee table. Now here on this massive tea trolley, as I tend to call it, is a whole engine, all its component parts. And this was an idea taken from the major car manufacturers, the quality manufacturers, where they actually decide that one person will build an engine, so they know who's done it. Perhaps I put a little mark on it. But here you can see, there's a cylinder head that we saw earlier, but this one's actually been assembled. I won't lift it up. It's got the valves in, it's got the intake manifold on. There's another head ready to go. You've got your clutch plates here, all ready to go. The clutch casing there, the clutch drum, outer casing. Up here you can see the cylinder barrel, or cylinder barrels rather there, timing wheels at the back, clutch pressure plate, starter motor, and timing belts. Everything is there to make the engine. And you've got all these bits and pieces as well, like a giant Meccano set, all the nuts and bolts, all the collars to make the engine. Clever, isn't it? There's one thing I didn't tell you, of course. These engines aren't assembled all by fellas. There's girls as well. That's where Ducati get this nice Italian flair, this feminine touch. Now over here, the engine's actually been finished, completely assembled, but there's no point in it going in a frame if it's not going to run. So it comes over here to a Rodegio Freddo, which is cold running. Goes into a machine over there, all oils are connected up to it, run up to speed, and they can monitor the revs and the oil pressure and all the rest of it, and just make sure it's running okay. That's for about 5 minutes. No fuel in it, but at least they know it's running. Now, if my friends Paul and Wayne were here, they'd probably say something crummy like they've been framed, but I'm not going to say anything like that. But nevertheless, these are frames, as you can see, and over there are all the front fork assemblies. Some of them even with handlebars on. So that's all ready now to go to the production line to be assembled into a motorbike. Now here we are at the start of the Monster production line. So there we've got it. Engines down there, swinging arms here, all ready to go with the linkages on for the rear suspension. Over there you can see they've already put the swing arm to the back of the engine and the shock absorbers there. Next, put the forks on, already got the handlebars as you can see. That moves along to the end of the line there, before it moves along to the next section, which is where the electrics are done. Now this box of delights here with all sorts of goodies in there, this is the ancillaries which are going to go on the bike. So over here we've got an oil cooler, airbox there, air cleaner, headlamp, rear sprocket, the whole shebang, even the footrest hanger over there. Those are now going to go over to the line and be assembled on the bike by each worker. Now one could say this is an exhausting job, but I won't say that, but nevertheless this is an exhaust pipe. This is where the pipes are put on to the engine. As you can see, this one's got its rear wheel on, and also what it's got on is all the airbox, all the electrics, and this is now becoming a recognisable monster. Now here we are, literally at the end of the line. There's a monster just about to come off. It's had its petrol tank fitted, seat unit on, and then it's going over to the test area. So we've got our completed monster, we've wheeled it round to here, and this is where they actually set up all the electronics, the engine management system, to make sure it's running spot on, the fuel injection, etc. So this one's here, he's just been running this one. You can see at the back here, he's got the big pipes on taking the exhaust gases away, but he sets it all up, and the thing's connected up over there to that display where he can take all the different parameters, make sure it's running absolutely spot on. And what a fantastic workshop to have here at home. Is your garage like this? I wish mine was. Then after it's finished that, all I have to do then is run it up on the rolling road facility and actually run it through its gears, make sure everything's working, and that's it. Finished bike. Well, here I am in an absolute sea of Ducatis, which is quite opportune because a lot of these are going overseas, Japan, California, a lot to mainland Europe, some to the UK, but there's a whole mass of them, and you've got monsters here, 916s, 748s, all packaged up, ready to go. Look at this neat little cover here to protect this beautiful paintwork for some lucky owner.